Are you bad with American names? In this lesson, you'll learn about adverb clauses to express conditions and cause and effect, and about salary negotiation.
This conversation takes place in front of Big John's office.
And it's between June and Big John.
Big John is the manager of the store, and June is an employee. Therefore, June is speaking professionally, and Big John semi-professionally.
Let's listen to the conversation.
Sir, I was wondering if we could meet and talk about how to increase my contribution here at Big Buys and the reward I receive.
Well, June, we usually don't do salary review unless it's the end of the year.
I know, sir, but I'd appreciate talking to you about this soon.
Any particular reason for the urgency?
It's mostly due to the fact that I have a number of ideas I need to go over with you, and due to the fact that since Sarah came in and I got demoted, things have been pretty confusing lately.
I don't have very much time, June. Couldn't you just write me an email?
I'd prefer talking to you in person, sir. And don't worry, I'll be quick.
Okay then, as long as you're quick. Talk to my secretary, and she'll pencil you in.
You don't have a secretary, sir.
Of course I do. Her name is Susan.
Sir, when you mentioned her last time, I looked in the store employee database, and I couldn't find any record of a Susan.
Is that lady right over there? The one with the green hair?
That's Alana, sir. Big John is also confused?
Yeah, well, everyone's confused.
Is it any wonder that the rest of them are confused as well?
Exactly. Hence, the store does not sell well. So this dialogue was an example of salary negotiation, or at least an introduction to salary negotiation. So let's talk a little bit about salary negotiation.
There are several factors that can affect salary negotiation.
First is how well paid you are at the moment compared to market norms. If you're already making more than others with your same workload and responsibility, your chances of a pay raise are small.
The second factor is the rate of inflation. The inflation rate is usually taken into account when calculating a pay raise. For example, many teachers have a yearly pay raise equivalent to the inflation rate written into their contracts.
A third factor that can affect salary negotiation is where you live and work and the costs of living associated with the area. For example, a high school teacher living in North Dakota will probably never make as much as a high school teacher living in Southern California.
Many other factors can affect your negotiations. It is wise to do serious research before you set an appointment with your boss for a salary review.
Let's take a look at the vocabulary for this lesson. The first word we'll look at is
contribution.
A gift or payment to a common fund or collection.
Contribution. Contribution.
Our second word is
reward.
Gift given to someone in recognition of their services.
Reward. Reward.
Our third word is
increase.
Make greater in size, amount, intensity, or degree.
Increase. Increase.
Our next word is
prefer.
Like something better than another.
Prefer. Prefer.
Next is
appreciate.
Recognize the full worth of.
Appreciate. Appreciate.
And our last word is
quick.
Moving fast or doing something in a short time.
Quick. Quick.
Let's have a closer look at the usage for some of the words and phrases from this lesson.
In the dialogue, we heard the phrase, pencil you in.
Pencil you in is a very business phrase. The idea here refers to an agenda and writing someone's name into that agenda to remember that you have a previous commitment. Please do not use this phrase unless you actually have a personal secretary. It sounds ridiculous if you need to pencil someone in yourself.
For that matter, it also sounds strange to say pencil you in if you don't actually use a pencil. For example, if you principally use software for your scheduling, you won't even pencil anything in.
So, could you break this down for us?
Pencil you in.
And one time fast.
Pencil you in.
What's next?
Our next phrase is salary review.
A salary review is a meeting with your immediate superior with the intent of reviewing your salary. Pretty self-explanatory, really. But that said, prepare yourself well for any kind of salary review.
Some companies hold routine salary reviews either every 6 months, every year, or every 2 years. Requesting a salary review outside of the scheduled routine can often backfire, as sometimes employers may see that your value to the company has diminished and therefore decrease your pay.
Could you break this down for us?
Salary review.
And one time fast.
Salary review.
Perfect. Let's take a look at the grammar point. So, Barbara, what's the focus of this lesson?
The focus of this lesson is adverb clauses to express conditions and cause and effect, part 2.
In the dialogue, we heard the phrase,
As long as you're quick.
to start things off, we're going to look at the word as.
These types of clauses are often called if clauses in English grammar books and follow conditional sentence patterns. First, a quick rule about punctuation.
When an adverb clause begins the sentence, use a comma to separate the two clauses.
For example, if she comes, comma, we will have some dinner.
When the adverb clause finishes the sentence, there is no need for a comma.
In this example, she would have invited me if she had known.
Back to as. As means the same as because, but it is preferred to because when the adverb clause begins the sentence. As tends to be used in more formal written English.
For example, as the exam will be difficult, you had better get some sleep.
Next we have as long as. As long as means the same as because, but again, it's preferred for starting sentences. As long as tends to be used in more informal spoken English.
For example, as long as you have the time, why don't you come for a chat?
Next, we'll look at because. Because can be used with a variety of tenses based on the time relationship between the two clauses.
For example, I'm studying hard because I want to pass my exam. And he works a lot of overtime because his rent is so expensive.
These types of clauses explain the reasons for what happens in the main clause. For example, he bought a new home because he got a better job.
Next, we'll look at due to the fact that means the same as because. Due to the fact that is generally used in very formal written English.
For example, we will be staying for an extra week due to the fact that we haven't yet finished remodeling your house.
Next, we have even if. Sentences with even if show a result that is unexpected based on the condition in the even if clause.
For example, even if she saves a lot, she won't be able to afford that house.
Compare that to, if she studies hard, she will pass the exam, and even if she studies hard, she won't pass the exam.
Next, let's look at if. In contrast to sentences with even if clauses express the conditions necessary for the result. If clauses are followed by expected results based on the condition.
For example, if we win, we'll go to Alex's to celebrate.
Let's finish things off looking at inasmuch as. Inasmuch as means the same as because. However, inasmuch as is used in very formal written English.
Here's the example. Inasmuch as the students had successfully completed their exams, their parents rewarded their efforts by giving them a trip to Paris.
Just as a quick note, the word inasmuch has a strong Bible feel. I can't think of any situation where using inasmuch would be considered natural outside of a religious context. That just about does it for today.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Bye. Sir, I was wondering if we could meet and talk about how to increase my contribution here at Big Buys and the reward I receive.
Well, June, we usually don't do salary review unless it's the end of the year.
I know, sir, but I'd appreciate talking to you about this soon.
Any particular reason for the urgency?
It's mostly due to the fact that I have a number of ideas I need to go over with you, and due to the fact that since Sarah came in and I got demoted, things have been pretty confusing lately.
I don't have very much time, June. Couldn't you just write me an email?
I'd prefer talking to you in person, sir. And don't worry, I'll be quick.
Okay then, as long as you're quick. Talk to my secretary, and she'll pencil you in.
You don't have a secretary, sir.
Of course I do. Her name is Susan.
Sir, when you mentioned her last time, I looked in the store employee database, and I couldn't find any record of a Susan.
Is that lady right over there? The one with the green hair?
That's Alana, sir.